Hi, everybody. I'm checking the volume.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. It works. It works. Sometimes the audio doesn't work when I go live, so I have to check it to make sure it's live before I get 20 minutes into a show. Excuse me. I've been having a cold for the last 2 weeks, so I'm a little bit off if I sound stuffed up or if I cough, so you know. So anyways, I just want to say hi and touch bases with you guys, because, you know, I've been looking at the YouTube, right? And this is how I got started on the YouTube in the first place. As I was looking at the YouTube, and I was like, you know, there's like no C-SPAN stuff on here, you know, and a lot of this C-SPAN stuff is just history in the making. I mean, daily it's just this historical events happening, you know, more or less. And so I was like, okay, so this definitely needs a C-SPAN channel. So I started C-SPAN Junkie. And then that went you know, almost viral. It was everywhere. And and it obviously was very popular, and that was the whole idea, you know. So anyways, I've been looking at the YouTube, and what I'm seeing is I'm not seeing a lot of call-in shows, right? I'm not seeing a lot of people you know, coming out and doing a regular call-in show to talk with people and get their opinions. And on this channel, on Mox News, and on C-SPAN Junkie for that matter, the truth is that, as you've heard me say again and again and again and again, is that it's you guys. It's you guys that make Mox News of value. It's you guys who take these videos that seem, you know, like mostly vanilla, you know, mainstream media crap, and give them so much flavor with your commenting and your links to say, oh, see, this is what this is about, and help explaining why this video that seems like vanilla, you know, mainstream media crap is actually of value to people whose eyes are not, you know, completely filled with sand. It's you guys. It's you guys that really make Mox News of value, and I've always said that. It's you guys, you know, that have made it interesting from the beginning. You know, your commenting, your input, your, you know, on YouTube, you used to be able to do a video response to whatever video was posted, you know, and now since Google has taken over YouTube, it's just become more and more crap. You know, it's just YouTube is horrible, and the people who run it must be just awful human beings. You know, I mean, I did you guys see this last thing where they made it so that you don't get to know your actual subscriber count? Do you know why they're doing that? Why they're doing this with the YouTube and the taking away the subscribers? You know, we had 116,000, like 990 some subscribers, and then I reload the page and it says 116,000, even 116,000, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's because YouTube doesn't want you to see your daily you know, amount of subscribers, or I don't know, they want you to use the analytics to figure it out or whatever. It's really bullshit, because I mean, they're trying to cover up the shenanigans that the management has been playing with the YouTube website for a long time, for about a year now. Hello, caller.
Hey, what's up, Mox? This is Matthew Meddix, and I've been a fan of your channel for a hot minute and whatnot.
Hey,
And
Matthew.
coincidentally enough, I'm a creator as well, and I speak too much truth. I'm a little bit out there and such, but I was just making a video on how my own comments on my own videos are not showing up.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy. And so that's the thing is, you know too much truth, and they're censoring us. Doesn't matter which side of the fence we're on, and us just being journalists and such, and just sharing information, that makes us the enemy. And sorry for going on a tangent, but that's just want to show support and like, hey, everything you're saying, like I'm going through too.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't understand. It's like YouTube doesn't appreciate the people they serve in any way, shape, or form. You know, they just it's like, no, we're in charge. Doesn't matter what you think. I wish there was some kind of alternative that actually that worked properly.
So what's happened is, we created YouTube. YouTube became, big because of creators. People just share it and whatnot. Right after Napster and stuff, people developed a new way to share content and everything. And what's happened is that these creators, they start selling out to it's all about the money. Yeah. And YouTube celebrities and such. And because people have become entitled due to this, and they're protecting their own assets and liabilities, but it's not for the common person. And anything that distracts from the actual attention of the concerned public. I mean, you never see anything important in your in the trending videos. It's always some giant lipstick or how to like whatever how to make a sandwich or whatever it is. Different, or it's never anything like, I mean, regarding the news or we just stopped, in September, we dropped the most munitions in Afghanistan since 2010 in just 1 month. I mean, like in a single month since 2010. So, yeah.
When did that happen?
In September 2019, we just dropped like over 900, almost 1,000 munitions in a single month. And the last time that happened in a single month, it was just over 1,000, just under 1,100, and that was in 2010. And yeah, sorry for going on a tangent. And to get onto the vaping, the title and whatnot. The problem is, it's not with our CBD oils and THC. It's these people that are have these big tanks, vaping tanks, and they're filling their lungs with this vapor, essentially giving themselves pneumonia. It's not from us using the cannabis oil as such. These people are using liquids and putting it into their lungs, and that's causing all these illnesses. It's not from, me taking up my oil. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that they're jumping right back. They're using the vape to jump right back to the reefer madness stuff. Saying, but also honestly, I have a flower press, right? So I press all my own flowers, so I know what's in my oil. I know what it is that I'm smoking. I'm not buying a cartridge and then trusting that it's filled with something proper.
Yes.
So, and I think that that's really, and I'm going to make a video about that, the safest way to, vape, cannabis concentrates.
That's actually a good idea, because that's something I'm not familiar with. And, with the whole vaping industry, with the cartridges and stuff of that nature, they usually use like a metal element or something.
Right.
And the thing is that metal element becomes carcinogen because of, vaporizing a heavy metal.
That's what I've never, that's the one thing that I ever since I started, the very first pen I got, all of them that I've seen, they've all had, metal. And I mean, it seems to me that heating up metal is gonna have some kind of like a release of some kind of compounds that you don't really want to be inhaling.
Oh, I mean, you look at it, a light bulb and whatnot. Why did they burn out? Because the element burns out.
Right.
You know, and like it starts to degrade over time.
Right.
And you know, so it was, you know, and whenever we heat something up, you know, I was just, you know, actually, you know, made a video about triple point of water and everything like that, and you know how everything has its, you know, different points of matter, and you know, when you start heating things up, they can become gaseous or release, you know, gaseous, fumes, and then when they solidify, they become, you know, carcinogens or become, you know, stuck in one's lungs or in the body.
Sure. No, I've always questioned the metal that's being used, the heating up of the metal. It seems like you have to get some kind of a different element, ceramic or something.
Right.
But
I mean, because I used the, you know, I used to have one of those box vaporizers, and I used a ceramic element for one of those. But you know, you're just drawing hot air over the flower and
right,
inhaling it.
right,
you know, essentially it's hydrated.
right.
And that's like, you know, primarily, I mean, that's why I think it's the best way, because you don't want to combust it.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened, is that we're not actually vaporizing it. We're actually combusting things.
Right. I agree. It's you're heating it up so hot that it's actually burning. It's actually burning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's carbonizing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, whereas,
so,
you know,
but the real question is I'm not asking if vape should be banned or what is the bad part of it. It's really what in my own opinion, you know,
yes.
and the thing is, I've read so many people that have said that they've gotten off cigarettes with these devices, you know, and that getting off cigarettes is a beautiful thing. And they keep talking about, you know, that we have to get rid of the flavors, like somehow, you know, flavor isn't the spice of life, you know, isn't what we're all attracted to. Like only children are attracted to flavor, you know, and they're focusing it on this flavor thing, and then they're adding the THC thing in the back. Today, the FDA recommended that everyone stop vaping any THC products. Did you see that?
Oh, I've been seeing, you know, the FDA, just like they were trying to ban kratom,
yeah,
and whatnot.
Right.
It's like that's, you know, being used, you know, that's better than methadone. It's been used, you know, to treat pain, people with insomnia. I mean, so many benefits from it. It's from the coffee plant, and offers so many effects, but it goes against pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. No, anything
Yeah.
that chips away at that, you know, big pharma money, even in a little tiny bit, or apparently the big tobacco money, the big alcohol money, you know, any of that big money that, you know, just controls our government. You know, I mean, how can you ban fucking vapes and flavors when you know the cigarettes? I mean, ban nicotine, right? You don't you don't ban you don't ban flavor. You don't say, oh, flavor is bad. That's such a bunch of bullshit. Then why is peppermint schnapps not bad? You know, why isn't stuff like that banned?
Alcohol is so much worse. Exactly. You know, and you know, they have the four, you know, like energy drink, you know, plus alcohol and stuff that, you know, causes a lot of issues to people. You know, and they create the opiate crisis and everything of that nature. And you know, the thing is, I mean, I smoke cigarettes, and you know, I've been trying to, you know, it's one of those things, you know, tug of war type thing.
Yeah.
And you know, but when I was using, I didn't use like one of those big globe vapes and stuff. I used like one of those e-cigarettes that actually looked like a cigarette. And so, like when you pulled on it, it was more, you know, just in the nicotine. And I got the, you know, regular flavor, like the tobacco flavor kind.
Yeah.
But you know, what you're seeing the flavored ones is that, you know, maybe like people are becoming not addicted just to the nicotine and stuff, but instead of reaching for a bag of Skittles, there's just inhaling it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's honestly, I was actually very attracted to the idea of vaping because of that reason exactly. Because I thought, well, instead of eating a box of licorice, I could just have a couple of puffs of licorice and I'll be good.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing, is sometimes we just need to trick ourselves. Just like they, you know, they talk about, you know, trying off cigarettes using lollipops or chewing gum or something like that. And so I'm definitely a believer that, you know, and you know what, vices are vices, and you know, and
Part of being that's part of being human. That's part of being top of the food chain.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, if you eat too many freaking apples, you're going to get arsenic poisoning. You know,
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, because there's a mild bit of arsenic in apples and whatnot. When you drink too much coffee, freaking, like it causes issues and such.
Yeah.
Drink too much orange juice and give you ulcers. Cause
Right.
the erosion of the esophagus or something like that.
Yeah.
It's about and honestly, the air that we breathe is probably worse than anything else, anyways.
And nobody seems to be overly concerned about that at all, do they?
No, you're 100% on that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that just like trying to get others to understand what's going on, about this theory. Is that back in the day they used to put lead in the gasoline, and they realized that hey, we can't devaporize in metals and such. But the thing is, it increased the fuel economy and the longevity of the engine and such.
Huh.
Well, what they've done is with the nano aluminum, they put it into the jet fuel, and it's just like with any manufacturing plant. If you have pollutants, you build a higher smokestack, depending on
That's so funny. It's funny because it's true,
Yeah, and that's the thing is, what people need to realize is hey, this world is a stage, and everything that they're doing is a freaking joke. It's just find your role, and really just enjoy yourself.
There is the option to enjoy yourself, and you should absolutely take that option a lot, every chance you get, more or less. But there seems to be a higher duty at this time. You know this because otherwise you're otherwise you wouldn't be fighting on the YouTube the way you do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But you have to take your time, and the truth is, okay, one of the contractual parts of coming to this planet, when you come here, one of the things that you're promised is that there's always something right in front of you for you to enjoy. Okay, so all you people that are just hating your life, you have tunnel vision. You're not looking at everything. Okay, because right in front of you, there's something to enjoy. What's that?
So I'm sorry. I was saying, adding to your thought, prison is a state of mind, and that's one of the biggest problems with the public educational system is that they try to keep us too logical, and when they keep us in our left hemisphere of the mind, and that's why they try to ban the use of the left hand back in the day because they utilized the right hemisphere, which was the creative part. And the thing is that a lot more people are becoming creatively logical. And unfortunately, what we've created is a bunch of liberal arts students in this world that don't really end up, but they haven't found themselves yet, and following stupid little trends.
Right on. I'm not sure. You lost me there a little bit with the liberal.
I go on little tangents and stuff, but I've been through a little bit of business and whatnot. I'm actually a veteran, and the last 7 years have been absolutely truly a crime. And anyone that goes against the system, I know firsthand, it's not an easy fight.
Yeah,
and that's part of why they keep us in this they keep us in our boxes and such, and people don't even have to interact face to face anymore.
Well, they keep us in our boxes. They keep us in our boxes because they don't want us communicating with each other, which is why YouTube becomes more and more complicated just to get your message out to people, because YouTube doesn't want you or I or anyone who has as you're saying creative logical thinking is dangerous to the powers that be. you know, because you actually can spread that to other people. You can spread your creative, logical thinking to other people. And then all of a sudden, instead of everything just being black and white, there's colors. And you know what? Colors and flavors are bad.
Yes, and you're 100% on that. You know, and you know they preach rainbow and this, that, and the other. And then real quick, like you know, hey, if you're not hurting anybody else in the process of you know your own living, you're not bothering me. You know, like that's my philosophy. You know, it's when you know other people start impeding on you know one's ability to live, and so. But yeah, you know, talking about you know just seeing a color, you know, using the rainbow and stuff like you know, they always just try to, you know, teach us certain, you know, like with the politics, it's red and blue. There's only, you know, and so you're choosing a side or something. And it's a color coded system, and so, you know, as soon as you know, you see a red hat, all of a sudden you're like, you know, you're just waiting to see "Make America Great Again" on it or something like that, and so it triggers people, even though it might be like a Chicago Reds hat,
Yeah.
or I'm not really a big sports fan and stuff, so
Yeah.
but it just kind of already gives people that preconceived notion of, well, it's prejudgment, it's prejudice,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we're going through, and it, you know, on the left and right, all down the middle and stuff. And
it's all programmed in, though. I mean, this is the way that they want it, and people are eating it up and then dishing it back out exactly as they were programmed to do.
And that's what's happening with YouTube is that they're, you know, changing algorithms so they're, you know, they can control your thinking and such. You know, they're television programming. They're telling us officially what they want us to think. You know, it's all part of, you know, without trying to. I mean, it's actual experiments and stuff. You know, MK Ultra. You know, it's a form of mind control. You know, like you see like a lot of countdowns with like sports shows and TV, like, you know, here's the top 10 highlights, and they flash you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then all of a sudden they do 10 and flash right in front of your face, and they start counting down. It's a form of hypnosis, and people don't realize that. And you know, then you have Operation Mockingbird, which is, you know, the government infiltration of mass media to create, you know, self propaganda. I mean, I'm you know, a veteran of the, you know, kind of infantryman, a veteran of the global war on terrorism, and you know, and it's like, you know, it's kind of hard to sleep after you know, you wake up and realize your whole life is a lie, you know, type of thing. And there's a lot of us out there, you know, and a lot of, you know, just people in general who are woke by all this. They create the internet, not realizing that we're going to take it over. And that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to decentralize, you know, trying to take the internet out of hinge. And sorry, I didn't even get my soapbox.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I that's what I'm saying is that they want us in the little groups, and they want to control our speech, you know, and it's obvious. It's been coming a long time. You know, I mean, you can see it. You can see it with the you know, Alex Jones. I mean, once they censored Alex Jones, it's like now it's just free range on just cutting off anybody because they talk about things that we don't want them talking about. That's all there is to it.
Well, you know, and that goes, you know, back to, you know, like part of the reason, like, well, my channel is, I get kicked out of 4 different colleges. I was actually living in Kent, Washington, and I went to what was it, Green River Community College first, and got this guy Daniel J. Garcia was one of my instructors, and I you know, pretty much got him fired. He was right in the process of being investigated and stuff. Which, I mean, there's news articles on this guy. You know, but that's the thing is, so I had a target on my back, and never owned a firearm or anything like that in my life. Just when I was in the service, you know, I was, you know, I had a property of one and such. But they tried to use my veteran shots against me so many different times, and you know, come out every single time, you know, like with my, I mean, they're still alive and not incarcerated or freaking. But the thing is that they're targeting us veterans big time, especially the ones that you know, I'm infantryman with a brain that scares the hell out of a lot of people. I turn my rifle into a pen and I've done a lot of research and stuff, and so like that makes me a threat to the society, in a nutshell, because you know, like, and this is not about white supremacy or anything like that, but the thing is that I'm a white male veteran, and we are the target of, like, look at Timothy McVeigh. He was a white male, and believed in the Constitution, and became something else. So.
Well, I think you're right. I think that they're targeting veterans like almost like they're a danger to society, especially if they have weapons, I mean, and it's not right because they just all they are people who did a job trying to do the right thing by our country, and now because we led them into a war based on lies,
100%.
for the sole purpose of making rich people more rich, and I guess destroying the Middle East. I guess it was actually the purpose. The purpose was to create a battlefield that the war profiteers could profiteer off for generations to come. That's obvious,
Well, Saddam Hussein, controlled the Middle East, and the thing is that when we uncorked him, that created a vacuum for everything that kind of led up to where we're at today and whatnot. But and it's sorry for like the way I was just trying to explain. I mean, I could put too much emotion into my last statement, and what it comes down to is that the global war on terrorism, the veterans of this war, we are the volunteer generation. There was no draft needed. The America's fulfilling its Department of Defense duties and whatnot. This isn't like we're not Vietnam veterans, and the only people that are the global the World War II veterans. They're the greatest generation, and we're the volunteer generation. And the thing is that what's happened is a lot of males, well, even a lot of service members that enter the force, they're alphas. And the thing is that you have the alpha state of mind. It's part of our breed and whatnot. And it's not about saying that I'm better than you because we all just have a job and such. And when we feel like there's a job that needs to be done, we take the bull by the horns. And that poses a threat because the last thing we need is freaking for organized people to especially from. We've been in war for 18 years. There's
right.
A lot of veterans coming out and whatnot. And the last thing we need to do is, like the America wants, well, the governments want, the deep state wants, is for us to organize. And the thing is that there's a lot of people that are just restless, even in the middle. They're just like, they don't care about Trump. They don't care about the Democrats. They just want their dollar to go further. That's it. Future.
I just want to live my life. I don't care about the Republicans. I don't care about the Democrats. What I care about is the people that are going to fight for freedom. Okay, because that's like you. You stepped up to fight for freedom. Your volunteer generation stepped up to fight for freedom. Where are the politicians that do that? There's no politicians that do that.
Well, the thing is, there's no obligation for you to do what you do. The thing is that, I could never be a figure skater. But there's someone that can do that, and you know what? Then, hey, I can appreciate that. Not everyone can be a hammer, not everyone can be a screwdriver. Everyone has their own little job and such, and, in their own little place. And and that's the thing is that what makes a team so well is that we work together. And you're sharing information, you're spreading the truth, you're trying to help get people together and whatnot. And the thing is, they're trying to take a platform, they're trying to take your soapbox. Everyone deserves the right to a corner, of the internet and be able to stand on their soapbox and have the free, the same opportunities as everyone else, whether it's big money or no money. That's the power of the internet, is that there is, it is a free market.
It has been, but it seems like the areas like you're saying that are the giant soapboxes like YouTube. I mean, I dominated the news in YouTube from the beginning, and then YouTube, and then Google was like, oh, we can't have this, and it was just, they just fucked me 7 ways from Sunday, man. And
Well, yeah, because you're not able to monetize any of your stuff, are you?
no, and they don't like that. I mean, I've served 800 million views off the YouTube with no monetization at all, and
Yeah.
they don't like that. That just cost them nothing but money.
Well, I mean, right. Well, and the thing is, and that's like a bullshit. I mean, because we have like all of a sudden, like the local person is competing with these multi-billion-dollar media giants, and they're like, oh, hey, well, look at this platform. We're just going to come in here and take it over and start corrupting things, and we're just going to use this as streaming service. Right. We're going to push all these people out.
Right. Why the hell? Right. Exactly. Why the hell does fucking Fox News need to be on YouTube? Why the hell does CNN need to be on YouTube? They got plenty of money. They can afford their own goddamn bandwidth.
Exactly. Like they have their own website and stuff. And the thing is, okay, they should be allowed to advertise on there and stuff, but to have channels like that and stuff, like, no, that kind of, I mean, I'm not saying they should be banned in this stuff, but the thing is, like, they shouldn't be held in the same category as just the average, YouTuber.
Right. YouTube is supposed to be about you and I, not about these giant fucking corporations. That's why YouTube was on the fucking on the cover of Time magazine as like Man of the Year or whatever, Person of the Year, and it was just like a reflective Mylar cover, like just it looked like a mirror, because it was YouTube, not fucking giant corporation tube,
And that's the thing, is that if you help, I mean, especially your channel, all the views that you've received, you helped the bottom line of YouTube, essentially, because you've proven like that you're able to drive, viewers, to your channel and such. So like that people are watching their stuff, and like when they were, going to these other people saying like, hey, we need a little bit more money to, or this is how much advertising costs on here. Look how many views we've got. You're part of, like that bottom line figure of the views to help them get money. But what's happened? They've used that money that we help them get, not to make the channel better, they made it worse.
Yeah, what Google has done with YouTube is horrible, and it's just it should just be any other fucking corporate website. It's not about the people anymore, and it's just not right. It's because it was a beautiful thing. It really was. It was like, wow, this is the greatest website ever, and then they just fucked it all up.
I mean, I really started being active on Facebook in 2008 and stuff when I enlisted in the Army, and it was a very powerful tool back then. And then over the years, it just became a social weapon.
Yeah.
And like I just started using it more for news and maybe like contacts, but like that's something that got corporatized that was once a beautiful thing.
It's too bad. I really, back in the day, I used to really just thrive on it. It was such a good thing. It was, to come out and see what's going on, and and now they won't even let you see how many subscribers you have. That's just such bullshit.
Like, no, because like my comments on my own channel, like that I post, they wouldn't show up.
Yeah, it's beyond bullshit, dude. It's just not. It's not. There's something wrong with the people running this website, and they should fuck off. They should go work at the fucking for-profit prison industry, because I'm sure they fit in real well there.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's what it comes down to. It's all about the crony capitalism. Every time there's a free market that develops, crony capitalists come in and fuck it up. Pardon my mouth, but like that's exactly what happens.
They want to know what the people in the chat room want to know what your YouTube channel is.
Oh, it's Matthew Meditz. It's my name. It's I have a lot of channels on there. I've used my channel as my own big brother because like I said, I'm an outspoken, disgruntled veteran, and I've been through the system and stuff. And I'm actually in the process of. I just hired a lawyer yesterday for a lawsuit that I'm filing against my property manager and the corporate establishment behind them for. Well, they tried to evict me without an unlawful eviction, to say the least. And they tried that twice. Right. And the first time, like, I didn't even have to speak, and it got dismissed. The second time, she didn't even show up to represent herself because she knew she was going to lose, and so she just didn't even try. So, I'm finally getting my stride back and stuff. But, like one thing, if you allow me, like just about the climate change and stuff. I just made a very big discovery and whatnot about like I knew about it back in the day and stuff. I've done research on it, but things just started making sense. They were trying to nuclearize Antarctica back in the 40s and 50s and whatnot through Colonel Byrd or Admiral Byrd and whatnot, his expeditions. And the thing is that they were talking about how it expedited global warming that was taking place, or the melting of the ice sheets. And the thing is that what would happen is it would change the climate of the southern hemisphere. And what's been happening is you look at Australia right now, they're going through a tremendous drought and whatnot. And this is man-made. And that's why I'm saying it's like you and me, we're not creating the carbon footprint. It's the militarization of the world. And they burn more fuel than than anything else combined and such, and so it's like a constant volcano going off with the military-industrial complex.
Yeah,
so I just want people to, really understand, like, don't drink the Kool-Aid with this, like they're saying that it's our problem. The thing is that they turn us into consumers. And the thing is that plastic is a byproduct of the petroleum process,
right?
And just like asphalt, and just like gasoline, and it's a byproduct of this one resource that they sell for $50 a barrel, and then they make freaking over $10,000 off of it. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and then there's so many resources down in Antarctica, mountains of coal mines. Like that you don't even have to dig; it's already there and whatnot. Just show me and for people to check out the Colonel Byrd expeditions.
Yeah,
and that's going to help people, really make sense of things because we're not being told the truth about Antarctica at all. And they're like, that's the south, like that controls the climate just like the North Pole does. So, But sorry for going off on a tangent.
It's all good, bro. So can you leave a comment in the chat room?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna freaking get off the line here.
Yeah, if you can leave a comment in the chat room, then people can know what your YouTube page is.
I'll jump in the chat and BS from there and stuff. But continue on.
Right on.
I'm glad finally got to speak to you after all these years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks a bunch for calling, Matt. I appreciate you calling.
Yes, all right. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, you too. Stay cool. Okay, let's see. They're gonna come up again. Hello, caller.
Hey, how are you, Max?
I am okay. I have a little cold. I'm getting over it. I'm much better than I was the last 2 weeks, but it's still there and it won't quite get out of my lungs,
Right, I heard that at the beginning of the session.
How are you?
So I don't know how quickly you're controlling the topic. I saw that you're mostly interested in the vape ban, but since you have a progressive audience, I just wanted to mention something and get your feedback and maybe the audience's feedback. Something that I don't know why it's not being discussed in the news at all. About Elizabeth Warren's student loan relief plan.
Say again a little louder.
About Elizabeth Warren's student loan debt relief program.
Okay, go ahead.
So Elizabeth Warren and obviously a lot of other progressives, even the mainstream Democrats, they campaigned against lifetime caps and annual caps in health insurance programs because it's sort of like, okay, the point of buying insurance is to insure yourself against the worst possible outcome. So why the hell would you sell insurance and then leave a person, standing on their own if they get into some sort of catastrophic injury or something like that?
Absolutely,
So
I agree.
it was insurance. It's pointless. It's kind of a scam to sell it with a cap on it.
It's kind of a scam for
address
sure.
The worst situation. So then, my question is, how is it not analogous that Elizabeth Warren has a cap on her debt relief plan for student loans? I mean, I like Bernie's plan because it has no cap, but Elizabeth Warren's cap is like, we'll help you up to, I think it's 50,000 or it might be 85,000. I haven't read it in a while. And then beyond that, you're on your own. But so it's like the people that went to law school and medical school and they racked up $300,000, $400,000 in student loan debt. The ones that are like have the most insurmountable debt standing in front of them, they're not going to be able to overcome it, and it's just really giving out money to everyone with moderate amounts of debt outstanding.
I did not hear that. I did not hear that. So that's partially why it's not on this channel. I don't know if it's being discussed in the news at all, honestly. But I think that Elizabeth Warren, the reason that they're not discussing stuff about Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, is because they're the darlings.
They're saving the dirt. They're saving the dirt for after Bernie goes out of the way. Then they'll start attacking her for being too liberal.
They're waiting. It seems like they're trying to save the dirt until the nominee is picked. So then they can bring up all the dirt and go, oh, look, this person's worthless, instead of doing it now. And the reason they don't do it now is because the news, especially, but television and the news and radio, it depends on all that money that comes in from people giving record money to Pete Buttigieg, who's a mayor that no one ever heard of before. People because that money goes basically right to the television stations for ad campaign bullshit. And fucking news and people like that thrive on that, so they don't want to knock down the big money campaign people like Camilla, like Biden, like Bernie, because they want that money. Those people are going to raise massive amounts of money, and the news agencies know that they'll get their share of that.
Right. I think another reason also is because they want some of Bernie's supporters to leak over into Warren's camp by believing that, okay, the mainstream is leaving Warren alone. Warren is more electable. She has support from both the mainstream and progressives. So just come on over. And then as soon as we abandon Bernie and his campaign dies off, then they'll start calling Warren too liberal, going through all the same marginalization that they do with Bernie. And they'll try to push Biden back on us standpoints one-on-one. Well,
everyone needs to abandon everybody except for Tulsi Gabbard if you actually want to have a chance of beating Donald Trump. Because Joe Biden can't do it. Bernie Sanders has shown already in the campaign that he can't make it through a campaign. He can't even make it through the primary. Okay, people were saying this exact same thing about Hillary Clinton. I myself said it about Hillary Clinton. Okay, she was sick. Now Bernie's sick. We have to call him out on it. Fair is fair. Okay, now Kamala Harris is a dirty fucking cop. That's at best. And the worst kind of dirty cop, the kind that fucking hides evidence when a person's life is at stake. Okay, so if you actually want to beat Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, as a soldier, can stand up and look Donald Trump in the eye and do exactly to Donald Trump what she did to Kamala Harris in the debates on every single question. and it would just be her and him. So it'd just be her destroying him again and again and again, to the point of him not being able to fucking, get anyone to vote for him. But the problem is, see, if you pick any of these other people, Kamala Harris, who's a dirty cop, Bernie Sanders, who's sick, Elizabeth Warren, who Donald Trump has already made the blunt of, the brunt of his jokes, and she's lost her credibility with this whole, Native American thing, and the fucking, and the, like you're talking about the student loan stuff, and Joe Biden, Fox News is going to bring one woman after another talking about how Joe Biden creeped her out during the swearing-in ceremony, and when he was touching her kids, she practically was jumping out of her skin. You know what I'm saying? None of these people are going to be able to fucking beat Donald Trump except Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. I like Tulsi Gabbard's personality, which, I mean, personality is like an underrated element of a campaign to me. Like, I want to know someone's, I want to know what their integrity is like. And,
personality, I know
whether or not they.
She seems like a
but I don't know
decent
her
person. She seems, well, that's the thing, is she's not pandering to these fucking groups like, oh, we're gonna write off all your student loans. Oh, everybody's gonna have the greatest healthcare in the world. Oh, everybody's gonna get out of prison for free. She's saying these things are fucked up and we have to fix them. And number one, we need to bring our troops home because we're spending trillions of dollars. We're wasting trillions of dollars mindlessly on endless wars of lies. And then and no one else is saying that, right? Donald Trump is the closest person that's saying that. And then
Bernie is also pretty anti-war.
Bernie's always been anti-war, but he's been in fucking Congress for 40 years. And what has he done about it?
Nothing.
Okay.
He doesn't have our mandate yet, but he's trying to get it now. So he can use it the same way that
he had our mandate. He had our mandate in the last election. Did he not have your mandate in the last election? And then when it was shown, that the DNC broke their agreement to be fair to him, give him a fair chance, he went ahead and honored the agreement that he signed to support Hillary instead of running against her. And the Green Party, Stein, whatever her name's, Jill Stein, she offered to step aside from the Green Party nomination and give it to Bernie so that he could be on all 50 ballots in the fucking country. He could have won the election in the last one, and instead he turned his backs on the people who supported him. Sorry, but it's true.
That's all right. I don't see him as being devious about it. I think he was mostly worried about Donald winning if he came in and siphoned votes off of Hillary. Well, right. Maybe I didn't want Hillary to win either way.
Yeah, no, I get that too. But see, he knew that the DNC cheated him, and that meant that the agreement that he signed was really no longer an agreement, and that he should have not supported Hillary, and gone with his supporters and said, yes, I'll give you a third choice, because and then they'd be there for him now. Now it's like, you know what, you bailed on us last time, dude.
Yeah, agreed. All right, man. Take care. I gotta go.
Thanks for calling. Now, no offense to the Bernie people. I posted so many Bernie videos in the last 16 years. I mean, and that was, and I'm talking about from year one, not from when he started to decide he was going to be a presidential candidate. So, hello, caller.
Hello, caller. Hey, Max, give me 1 second. Turn it down so I can talk to you. But anyway, I'm calling about the banning the vapes. What are they going to do? Ban cigarettes? cigarettes next? What are they going to
No, they're not going to ban cigarettes. That's the problem. Cigarettes are the real problem. If they ban cigarettes, then, you know, instead of 1,000 people having died in the last, or not 1,000 people, they say 18 people have died. They've confirmed that from vape so far. 1 million people a year die from cigarettes in India. Okay, and India's banning flavored vapes. Give me a fucking break, man.
I just get sick of all the banning. You know, ban this,
I agree.
ban that,
I
ban
agree.
every, you know.
Freedom. Let people make up their own mind what they want to put in their own bodies.
Yep, I have to agree with you.
You know, our freedom is just such a giant threat to these people. I don't get it, man.
You ain't the only one, bro. I wish I could have more answers, but I don't know. I guess we just got to keep talking about it until we do find the answer, right?
Well, that's the thing is, here's what I see is that, you know, I think Mox News, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, has always been about the viewers and what the viewers think. And that's what has given Mox News values. It's like these incredible discussions that have been had on some of the videos where there's like, you know, 2,500 comments, you know. And so that's why I think what we need to do is I need to do a regular call-in show, because what I see is there's just not a whole lot of call-in shows on YouTube, and maybe that's something that's missing, you know.
Yeah, there's like other channels out there, you know, they have their own way, but I think this is an American problem, and you've always centered on that. You know what I mean? You're not really worried about this and that. You're worried about straight up America, and I've been watching you for a long time, brother.
Right.
You've been in this fight for a long time. Tell them all.
I'm just trying to do the right thing, man, by all of us. You know, I care about freedom, and I don't think that we all need to be babysat constantly, you know. I
agree.
And this stuff where it's like, oh, we have to think of the children. Why won't anyone think of the children? You know what? There's only one person that's going to fucking protect your kid, and that's you. And you know what? If your kid is vaping and has a nicotine addiction and you don't know anything about it, that means that you're not spending enough time with your kid. Because if you got a nicotine addiction, you're constantly fucking hitting nicotine one way or another.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you.
So if you got a kid and they got a nicotine addiction and you know nothing about it, that's because you're not spending enough time with your kid. Don't put that fucking bullshit on the rest of us.
Hey, let me ask you about this, Mark. Do you think that, you know, them experimenting with the vaping tool is kind of like throwing everything off?
I don't understand the question.
You know, like how people put different things in it other than flavors.
Right. I think that a lot of people are putting meth in their vapes, from what I understand. That seems to be a pretty big.
You always got the asshole ruining it.
Yeah, and I think that again comes back to this freedom thing, where it's these people going, you know what, you know, some people are doing something that we don't approve of, so we have to take everybody's freedom away. You know.
Yeah, that sucks, man, and I don't like it.
It's, you know, we got to think of the children, dude. What's wrong with you?
Well, I agree. There are creepy people on the internet, you know, and I live to pay the children when it comes to that.
No, fuck the children. Look it. Fuck the children. The only person that's going to be able to protect the children, your fucking children, is you. Nobody else. No fucking cop. No fucking cop is going to protect your child until something happened to your child, and then the cop's going to be there to fuck up everything for everyone they can, because that's what cops do.
Messing with the children on the internet, my darker side comes out.
No one should be messing with children anywhere. Okay.
I agree.
And I said this again and again. If you're so concerned about the children, why is it that you allow the children to be advertised these sugary cereals on television? Why do you allow any advertising directed directly towards children? Because advertising is a 100% mind fuck. And if you're directing it at children and acting like that's okay, you don't give a fuck about your children.
I just went into the store the other day, right?
Yeah.
And it said, you get $2 for you buy one for $1, get one for free. So I go up to pay for it, and it's like $3 and like 67 cents. I was like, wait a minute, I thought this is buy one get one for free. She said, well, I guess that sounded like you. I said, well, that sounds like false advertisement to me.
That is false advertising, and they should honor it. Otherwise, that's not a respectable store.
I know. I don't think I'm going to shop there anymore.
Right on. Well, what's your name?
Benny.
Hey, Benny. It's good to hear from you, bro.
I've talked to you before.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
I ain't as drunk as I was last time.
Gotta be as drunk as you need to be, Benny.
Hey, do me a favor. You're probably the only guy I trust with my number, so keep that to yourself.
Okay, Benny.
All right. You have a good day.
All right, bro. It's good to hear from you.
I'll buy you a pizza one day, brother.
I would look forward to that because I'm hungry. I like pizza.
All right, then.
Stay cool. And if anybody else would like to buy me a pizza, that would be very nice of you because, Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like you. I'm looking at you. And if you don't give something back, then no one will. And when no one gives anything back, that sucks. So, it's been a very difficult it's been a very difficult challenge to try and make it on the YouTube without monetizing all the videos and having you go through because honestly, if I was to monetize the videos, like so many people who do what I do, they do monetize these videos and they do exactly what I do. Like the Huffington Post, they monetize all these videos and they do exactly what I do. Those people, if I was to do that, then I couldn't honestly claim fair use, which is what I do when I have a copyright issue. I claim that this is a political news video, making it a fair use video, which is part of copyright law, and actually news is defined as fair use in the Wikipedia definition of fair use, because it's meant to be shared to reach as many people, to inform the public of important things. That's what the news is about. I'm simply helping disseminate important information that the public is supposed to want to know. It's supposed to be valuable to you. So I can claim fair use because I'm not monetizing the video. If I were to monetize the video, then they could say, oh, well, we're not making advertising dollars that we would be making, and he's making that money, and we want that money from him. And then it becomes complicated, and they can take away your channel. And that's why I've never monetized, because the work is more important than me being able to make $5,000, $10,000 a month. Even though it would be nice to make $1,000 a month if you guys would buy me a pizza now and then. So anyways, I'm thinking that as I look at the YouTube now, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, when I started YouTube, I was looking at it and I was looking around and I was thinking, there's no C-SPAN here. There's this, I would watch C-SPAN every day, all day long. And I'd be like, there's no there's none of this C-SPAN on the YouTube, and all this video is like really important, or not all of it, but some of it is really powerful and some of it's really important. And I thought, so someone should be sharing that with the YouTube audience. So I started sharing that with the YouTube audience, and then it expanded into more of the mainstream media news, because there was, there was talk of 9/11 and all that back in the day. They don't talk about 9/11 anymore, except for, never forget, and to use it as a threat. But there was other conversations like, the poll says 75%, CNN poll says 75% of people believe that the U.S. government is lying about what happened on 9/11. They don't do stuff like that anymore. But that was important, and I wanted to make sure that got shared too, because it wasn't CNN. Like I was just talking with the caller a second ago, there wasn't CNN, there wasn't the Fox News on YouTube. It was, but now as I look around, what I see is I don't see a lot of call-in shows. I don't see a lot of regular kind of daily call-in shows. And again, as I've always said about Mox News, is that it's you guys that give it value. It's you guys' voice. It's you guys speaking out. It's you guys giving your opinions. That was the really important part. As I post these videos, the videos can be powerful and they can be eye-opening, but you guys add so much more flavor to it than just this, this clip of mainstream media news. You guys add heart and soul. I show this eye-opening clip, and then you guys make it even more eye-opening in the discussion. And since I'm not seeing that, and what I am seeing is that YouTube seems to be trying more and more to shut down people's voices. As the first caller was saying, he's been making videos the last week or so talking about how how the comments on his own YouTube channel that he's posting, his comments on his own YouTube channel are being censored by YouTube, which it has to be by YouTube because it's not by him. He's not censoring his own comments. So that's what I've been seeing going on for a couple of years now with YouTube. I mean, YouTube is just YouTube, Google. I don't really do Facebook, and I just the only thing I really do on the Twitter is just I just tweet the YouTube videos. But that's what I've been seeing, is that they're trying to keep your voice down, to shut your voice out, to make it so that it can't be heard. And it can't give that extra oomph to the videos, the way that it did back in the day. And I think that if we were to get a regular call-in show going, say 4 or 5 days a week, that we could probably tap into a pretty good audience and probably get a pretty amazing discussion going on, especially once I learn to work the phones a little better with, putting one caller on hold while we go to another caller. And I get the OBS working to where we'll be able to maybe pop some clips up of different things while we're doing a live stream. That we could actually have a proper call-in show that people could enjoy, and it would still give me the time to do the majority of the videos that I do now. And then we could get your voice and the voice of the YouTube audience once again roaring back at the establishment. Perhaps. I think it's a possibility, because I just don't see call-in shows. And it may be because no one calls, or it may be because, I don't know, because no one's called for the last 5 minutes, right? Or, no one cares or whatever, but I think we should find out, because that was, as I've always said, that was really the best part of Mox News, was the discussions that went on. And I think that a big part of the reason that the discussions have slowed down and been kind of shut down almost is because Google and YouTube does not want people having these discussions, and that we can sidestep them and still use their platform by having live, uncensored call-in shows on a regular basis. So that's my plan. I haven't decided what a good time for that would be. What do you guys think a good time for a call-in show is? Because I can't decide, if it should be like I don't know, maybe a lunchtime call-in show where it's like we start with the Eastern lunchtime, so we start at 10 a.m. Pacific, or see, I guess it'd be 9 a.m. Pacific would be noon Eastern. That just seems a little early for me. Because I don't want to say this is when we're going to do it on a regular basis, and then 9 a.m. So today we started at 4:20, and that was because I think 4 p.m. is probably a good time, because then the people, but it may be too late. I don't know. I'm really not sure about what time is going to be the best time. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a 4 p.m. call-in show. And we may change it around, may try and do 2 call-in shows, may try and do a lunchtime call-in show, and then do an evening, rush hour call-in show a little later, right? And then there may be something going on, some kind of breaking news events that actually is breaking news and actually is important to all of us, and you guys might actually have something important to add when it comes to those. And if we're doing a regular live call-in show, then it should be easy for me just to jump in and go, okay, we're live and this is what's happening. The only thing that I'm really concerned about in doing this is that I want to be able to edit on this computer and talk to you guys on this computer, and be able to upload, after I capture and edit and then render a video, and then upload it and publish it on this other computer. But I'm not sure if it's going to mess up the stream if I try and upload this while I'm uploading this, the live capture. So we'll figure that as we go along too. Again, I have a little cold, so I apologize for not being top of my game today for all of you lovely people. But I wanted to touch bases because I've been under the weather for a couple weeks, and I wanted to touch bases so that so you guys know what's going on, that I haven't been feeling so good, and what the plan is moving forward. Again, I intend on doing my daily videos, whatever that may be, 5, 10, 15 videos, 2, 3, 8 hours. Who knows? It varies from day to day. But I intend on doing my regular videos for the people who like my news, the way that I do news. And then we'll try and fit in the regular call-in show every day. This week we're going to do it 4 days a week. We're going to do it. Today is Tuesday. We'll do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's the plan, at 4 p.m. or 4:20. If I don't make it at 4, I'll be there at 4:20. And I guess we're not getting any calls. So I mean, I haven't put the telephone number up on the screen or anything for a minute, but we're not getting any calls at the moment. So and I've been rambling on. I probably need I just wish it would kind of go away, It's weird, you get a cold and then it like sticks with you for like 2 weeks, and you're like, man, it's just a stupid little cold. You expect it to be done in like 2 days or 3 days. It just clings to you, and you're like, I fucking hate this. You gotta stay hydrated. Keep drinking water. I only drink distilled water. All right, so let's see. That doesn't work. My keyboard's screwed up. All right, so let's see. The Mox News address is, are you ready? You got a pen? You got a pen? The Mox News address is, I have mail around here somewhere. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I got a mail around here somewhere. Let me write it down so I can see it. All right, you got a pen? You ready? I'm going to say it. Here goes. Mox News address, snail mail address is 2226 East Lake Ave, East, number 169, Seattle, Washington, 98102. It's not on the Mox News business card, so you know. It says knowledge is free, but lunch costs money. Damn it! I like lunch. I like pizza. If you just kick down for a pizza, that would be super generous of you. All right, so nobody's calling. It is a call-in show after all. Do it again. You're really breaking my balls here, buddy. You're breaking my balls, man. All right, it's 2226 East Lake, one word, East Lake Ave, East, number 169, Seattle, Washington, 98102. Got it? All right, you guys. So, and just by the way, I just want to point out, though, even though I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, I have on a daily basis been here posting valuable videos for one and all to try and make sure you guys know that I wasn't bailing out on you. I'm not, I'm not gone or anything. It just having trouble breathing. That's all. Pretty much. So, I guess, see, and that's the thing, is that if people aren't going to call, right, if we're going to do a call-in show on a regular basis and nobody calls, then that's why there's no call-in shows on YouTube, I guess, because people tried and no one called. So we're going to try. We're going to try every day this week. We're not going to try every day this week. Every day this week, 4:20, 4 p.m., 4:20, Mox News will go live, and we'll do a call-in show. Everybody who wants to call in is welcome, you know, even Democrats and Republicans. And we'll see if we can make something happen, because if we can make that happen, that would honestly be kind of a dream come true for me, because then I would actually be able to be getting your voice out so that people could hear that, you know, Americans aren't whatever the stereotypical, you know, worldwide perspective is of, you know, people in America and why the hell they let their government do this to them, you know. And I think that that's the most important thing. Like I said, that's what I always loved about the whole YouTube thing, is that you guys having these awesome discussions. It made me smarter, made me a lot smarter, and I really appreciate it. So I'm glad you're still here, and then I guess we'll go ahead and we'll call it a night. How long? Yes, because we've done like an hour and a half now. Not quite an hour and a half. Let's say. Doesn't say. Doing it not. Oh, there's an hour and 16 minutes. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to let anybody call if you want to call, but if you don't want to, you know, I'll continue to try. But if we can't start a dialogue here, then you know, it's done. There's no reason to try and have a call-in show, because people on YouTube don't want to do a call-in show. If you don't want to do a call-in show, then there's no reason for me to try and do a call-in show, right? Otherwise, we could be here all night talking, because that's what I see happening. Is that we could, if you guys do want to do a call-in show, and I am able to reach out and get more people to come in, which I didn't try on the show to try and get people to come in. I didn't tweet it. I didn't do any of that. But if I was to try and do that, get people to come in, and we were having a nice calls, you know, call after call after call, and having a good discussion, you know, or not, even if it's not a good discussion, it's just people calling in. As long as there's people calling, then we're achieving the ideal of having a call-in show and giving a voice to the audience of YouTube and I don't know, everybody. You know, I'm trying to do the right thing. It's what I've always been doing on YouTube. Is to show you guys what it is that happened today, and then give you, you know, the ability to say what you want to say about it. Because I've never censored you. You go to any of these other places and you try and talk about things that you want to talk about, and you will quickly be censored. That one caller tonight was saying that YouTube is censoring him on his own channel from his comments. So, and this is a way to sidestep YouTube censoring us and still get our voices heard on YouTube. So I think it's a good idea. I'm willing to give it a try. Hopefully I'll get rid of this cold in the next couple of days, and we'll be ready to kick a little ass on the YouTube again. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's so nice. It's always nicer when you're here. That's the simple facts. Okay, so stay cool. One of these days, this war is going to end. Got to end one of these days. Stay cool until that day. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget about me. Don't ever forget about me. You guys won't forget about me, will you? You guys won't forget, will you? Remember Mox News. Never forget Mox News. Have fun. Stay cool.